Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Ray Shanae, and today what I'll be doing is pretty much compare and contrasting between the Bridgerton TV series and the book, The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. So, as we all know, the Bridgerton TV series the new TV series was released for the second season, which will be following Anthony Bridgerton, the oldest of all the Bridgerton children. But we don't just follow Anthony, we also follow these two sisters, the Sheffields, I believe, and their mother, Mary. And first, let's start with the TV series. So there's a lot of things happening in the TV series. Some people didn't like it at all. Some people loved it. Me, on the other hand, you will know during the end of this video. But we're following Anthony. We're following the Sheffield sisters, where we have Kate and we have Edwina and we have Mary, who come back to London and they stay with Mrs. Danbury. And she is pretty much helping them along the way to pretty much be launched out into society. And Edwina is pretty much the one where they're trying to help, get married. And Kate, she is not motivated to get married. All she wants to do is make sure that her little sister has the best husband and that she loves him and that he loves her in return. But she has other plans in mind. So we happen upon Anthony, who wants to be married, but not based on love, based on duty, based on breeding, and what have you. So we have that in the TV series, and sorry if you haven't watched it. I'll make sure I'll put spoiler on there so that way you'll know ahead of time. But that's what Anthony wants. He doesn't want nothing like love attached or anything. It's mostly just make sure they're beautiful, they're smart, they're not dumb, have some intelligence or what have you. But Edwina, who is the youngest, and Kate is the oldest, which they really don't specify the ages, but we know that Kate is the older sister. Edwina really wants love on top of other things and duty and stuff like that, but she also wants a title. So Anthony also wants something like that in return. And so Anthony is doing everything in his power to get the attention of Edwina, but Kate does not like him because she heard him speaking to his friends about what he wanted based on, I'm choosing the person that I want based on breeding, nothing more, nothing less, what have you. And she instantly just could not like it. She just could not tolerate him whatsoever. She couldn't be in the same room with him because she was just so pissed at what he had said. And so since she heard him say that, she is telling Edwina, no, he is not the man for you. But Edwina was like, no, I think you really should get to know him, whatever. And that's how all that happened. So Edwina is trying to make Kate realize that Anthony is a good guy. He's a good man and very honorable. So they have all these moments in the movie where Edwina is forcing Kate to spend time with him so that she can get to know him better. And instantly I'm thinking to myself, girl, why are you pushing your sister up on him? Like, don't do that. Don't you realize what you're doing? So I was just like, okay, I guess. For me, I wouldn't be doing that. If my sister didn't like him, oh well. But I get it. She wants the approval from her sister, but I don't know. It's just not me. Because if I truly like this man, ain't nobody gonna tell me like, no, you shouldn't be with him. But that's just me. This is we're talking about Bridgerton series right now, or the TV series. So she's doing all these things with Anthony, and they're starting to have a connection with each other that I think they noticed, but they're trying to ignore. And throughout the TV series, they start constantly getting closer and closer with one another. And she started pouring, her own feelings about storms and how she cannot sleep during a thunderstorm. Rain is fine, but if it's thunder and lightning, she can't sleep. And then he also breaks down to how his father had passed away. And I think the connection that really got them was when she was stung by a bee herself. And he was really worried about her, and she did not want her to die. So they have all these connections, but yet again, Kate has this ordeal where she's trying to get Edwina off to somebody that has money. And that way Kate and Mary can still have a good life, because during that time, Mary did not choose to be with somebody that had money. She chose someone based on love, which is why Kate is her daughter. Kate is not her blood daughter. She didn't give birth to Kate but Kate's father fell in love with Mary, and then they had Edwina. And so in the movie, Kate does call her mama and stuff like that because she really considers her as her mother figure. And so it's a little twist when it comes to the TV series, but for the book, I think I liked it a little bit better. But the things about the TV series is I love that it has Black and people of color as characters, as actors and actresses in the TV series. I love that aspect. I love the diversity. In the book, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that whatsoever. Every character in this book is white. It even talks about Kate with her blue eyes and her brown hair and stuff like that. But it's really interesting with the book itself because, of course, like in the book, it's like gives specifics on how old each character is and whatever. So Edwina is 17, I believe, and then Kate is 21 and Anthony is 29. And in this book, he knows he's going to have a short life based on when his father had passed, which I think he was like 39, and his uncles had passed in their 30s as well. So Anthony's thinking he's not going to live long anyway, but he does want to produce an heir and stuff like that and do his duties. So he does want to find an honorable person. But in the book, Kate as well as Edwina are pushed into society, excuse me. And Mary, and in the book, Mary as well as the two sisters, they are renting a home in London. They are not residing in Miss Danbury's household whatsoever. Miss Danbury is only mentioned like once in the book. She's not a prominent character in the book. And neither is like Eloise, because in the TV series, we know that she's being pushed into society and to find a husband, where here she still says, you know, in another year, I'll be pushed into society. So we have that. That's a big difference, right? And the fact that Kate and Edwina are being pushed out of society and not being with Miss Danbury is a whole nother twist. And it gets more into like Edwina, she likes Anthony, but not exactly. And then Kate, she's more hesitant. She knows she's not going to find anybody before her little sister does, because she doesn't find herself attractive. She doesn't find herself pretty enough. And obviously neither did Anthony at the time, because on page 87, he says, Kate's face was a touch too long, her chin a hair too pointed, her eyes a shade too big. Everything about her was too something. Even her mouth, which vexed him to no end with its endless stream of insults and opinions, was too full. It was a rare event when she actually had it closed and was treating him to a moment of blessed silence. But if he happened to look at her in that split second, for surely she could not be silent for much longer than that, all he saw were her lips, full and pouty, and provided that she kept them shut and didn't actually speak, eminently kissable. Which she's not kissable. He literally says that on page 87 of the book. So he could not stand Kate whatsoever, and I think neither could Kate, but they end up having a connection with one another that I felt like the connection in this book rather than the TV series was a little bit stronger. And the TV series was a little bit annoying. Like you could see that they love each other, they're into each other, but no one else did. Like her little sister Edwina did. Like, come on. I think that was just not realistic for me. That's what some of the things I just did not like. I'm like, okay, they love each other. Why are we going back and forth? Well, no, we can't be together. No, you need to marry my sister Edwina and stuff like that. I'm like, girl, why are you doing this to your sister, knowing the fact that he does not love her? He loves you. Like, that bothered me. And then when Edwina found out, she like kept going back and forth and thinking when she was supposed to be married to Anthony, and she left him at the altar. As opposed to this, that doesn't even happen. That does not happen in the book whatsoever. So in the TV series, we know about the bee and the bee stung Kate. And at that time, he was trying to help her. In the book, he does the same thing, but he puts his mouth like on the top of her breast to suck out whatever, I think the stinger. And from then on, he had to marry Kate. He could not marry Edwina because he dishonored Kate by doing so. So they end up getting married. As opposed to the TV series, like he took her honor in a sense, but he's like, no, it was just weird. He was still pressed to marry Edwina and not Kate. And then they had all this scandal. And then also we have the Featheringtons, where we're following them in the TV series. And Eloise, and not Eloise. Eloise is the little sister in the Bridgertons, but we have Penelope. Penelope is not mentioned a lot in this book whatsoever. Colin is mentioned a little bit in the book, but there's no talk of the cousin or nothing like that. So the Featheringtons are not really mentioned in this book, but is really heavily mentioned in the TV series because their father had died and all that, and now they need to know who's the the cousin who's going to be the owner of the household or whatever, and if they're going to kick them out or whatever. That's not the case here. But we also I think the thing that I liked in the TV series is how Anthony was broken down. Is when his father had passed away, and how that really destroyed him. And from then on, he never had he didn't had a childhood, but then it stopped right after his father had died, and he was instantly the Viscount of the Bridgertons. And Violet, was pregnant with Hyacinth, which was the last of the Bridgerton siblings, and we have that. So it was a huge transformation of how Anthony was and how he is now, and why he is the way he is, which I'm glad we saw that in Anthony in the TV series. I really valued that moment, because we see that Anthony he seems strong, but then again, he's not. He's still human. He still have those emotions. He still has faults. So that's what I really loved about the TV series. Also, when it comes down to the TV series and the book, I love the TV series, the fact that it's diverse and has diverse characters and people of color and Black people in it. I wish that some stuff that was in this book was in the TV series, because I felt like this was more realistic, because once he put his hand on her breast or whatever, instantly he had to marry Kate, as opposed to the TV series. He just ignored it and kept messing with Kate or whatever, and still had the intentions and wanted to marry Edwina after all. I'm like, that's not really honorable of you, Anthony, not at all. But in the book, Anthony is more honorable, and so he does marry Kate. And the thing is, he does confess that he does love her, and that she loves him in return. Like, they did not love each other whatsoever. They tolerated each other in the book, but then they came together and they found love, and how literally throughout the moments they were with each other prior to their engagement into their marriage, they realized that they did love each other. It's just how to express it, how to say that, because Kate still had low self-esteem, because she still felt like she was ugly, and that the only reason why Anthony married her in the first place because of what he had done to her, as far as the bee sting and her breasts and what have you. But in reality, Anthony finds her really attractive and beautiful. And I think that it also scared him a little bit when she confessed her love to him, because he did not know how to reply to that, because he didn't want love to be attached at all. He was trying to get away from it, because he saw how love can destroy you at the end. And especially since he saw his mom mourning for their father, Edmund, and when he passed away, and how she was just not herself when he had gone. She was lost for a few months, and the Anthony, as well as his siblings, did not have a mother at that time, because she was still mourning the loss of her husband. And he did not want to be like that. He did not want to be weak if he lost someone that he really loved. And then coming down to it, the reason he did realize that he really loved her. And then we're at a point where in the book, she's in a carriage accident where she breaks her leg, as opposed to the TV series, she has fallen off her horse for going on an evening ride. And so that's a big difference about the book as well. I love the book. Only thing is, I wish it had more diversity, but it's okay. We know that there's no people of color or Black people in this book whatsoever. I think we all know that by now, which I think that's where everybody goes towards the TV series, because we have that because of Shonda. So I don't know. I was really caught in the middle. I loved more of the aspects from this book than the TV series. If they had actually followed through with what was in the book and the TV series, it might have been better, in my opinion. I know, because I know a lot of people did not like the second season of the Bridgerton series on Netflix. And neither did I. I was more annoyed about all of it, pretty much, because you could see clear as day that Anthony and Kate were falling for each other. And no one else did. Like, I know Miss Danbury did, and so did Miss Bridgerton, or Violet, whatever you want to call her, but Edwina didn't see that. None of the siblings saw that except for Daphne. So yeah, I love the first season so much better than the second season of Bridgerton on Netflix. I thought the love was there. And then on top of that, we got to see Daphne and Simon get married and stuff like that in their marriage, as opposed to in the TV series, we don't do, the second season, they don't do that. We don't see them get married or nothing like that. They just go on into playing Pall Mall at the Aubrey Hall, their country, housing or whatever. And so in the book, we get to see them actually being married to one another and getting married and working through their marriage, and even talking about how Kate was struggling with their first night together being married, and, having sex and stuff. Like, she was new to that. She really didn't know what it was. She never had advice about it or nothing. So we had that, and that was actually an interesting scene because he really loved Kate at that moment. He just didn't know how to say it. He could express it, but didn't know how to say it. And I think from then on, when they connected with each other for the first time, when they became married, that set it off for them to realize how much they loved each other. And then also in the book, you know how we have the relationship between Kate, Edwina, and Mary. In the book, Kate does not call her Mama. She just calls her Mary. As opposed to the TV series, Kate calls Mary Mama. But in this book, she does not. So we have that, which makes it seem like she loves Mary, but that she realizes that's not her real mom, I think. And I think that's why she just calls her Mary, as opposed to in the movie, or excuse me, TV series on Netflix is a little bit different. But we have that. But there is still a scene of Pall Mall in the book, as well as the TV series. There's a lot of things. Eloise is not a big figure in this book at all, but she is in the TV series because she's trying to figure out who is Miss Whistledown, which no one is trying to find Miss Whistledown. And the Queen is not mentioned in the book at all either, which I love that we get to see the Queen, and she's Black in the TV series. That's one of the main reasons why I love the TV series. But I love the book as well. So I gave the book, I think, a 4 out of 5 stars because I actually really enjoyed it, other than it wasn't diverse, but still I love the book overall. The TV series, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Because it was just a huge disappointment for me, especially when we seen the first season and then the second season. I felt like it had fell off a little bit, and maybe I should give it grace because, during this time when they were trying to film and stuff, COVID had hit and stuff. So I don't know if that was the cause of something, that I feel like it was like a big disconnect between the first season and the second season. I honestly do not know. But I just did not like it as I thought I would, because I don't know. I felt like with Daphne and Simon, it was something a little bit more, and we got to see them married. And I think that if we had seen Kate and Anthony get married and stuff and figure out their marriage, it probably would have been a little bit different and a little bit better. But I have heard some controversy about the bees and how accurate like the bees and stuff are in the TV series and stuff like that. So I know that's a huge problem that people are having. But overall, I think I like the book better than the TV series. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but just from comparing and contrasting between the two, the only thing that I love most about the TV series is that the diversity, because we don't get that in this book at all, But I love the storyline better than the TV series on Netflix. But that is it. That is my compare and contrast between the TV series and the book itself. I will be continuing on doing this when the next season comes out. I know that they said they're not going to follow the Bridgerton series in order, or the siblings in order, but we'll see. I'll still read the book as follows in the order that is given. So I know the first book was about Daphne and Simon. This book was about Kate and Anthony. And then I don't remember the next book that comes following this one. I think it's the Gentleman's thing. I'm not sure, but I'll be reading in order. Let me see. It says, so it's the third book is An Offer from a Gentleman. So that's the third book. So I'll definitely be reading this once the third season comes out, so I can get the tie-in edition, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be getting the tie-in edition because I love seeing the characters of, especially the people of color, on the covers. But that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.